What is up, guys? We are live. Couldn't have gone better, in my opinion, for the West Virginia Mountaineers. That more details have basically come out about a bowl game for the Mountaineers. Thank you, everybody that's in the chat. Sasquatch 304, Buddy Whitley, Matthew Swanson. Thank you, guys. I have an article from earsports.com. I'm going to read that really quick. Let me get it up here. Forgive me, guys. I wasn't exactly as prepared as I should have been. Doing this on the fly, so we'll see. All right. Sources tell Ear Sports that West Virginia University's football program knows where it's going for the postseason. Apologies for my volume button there. Although we're still waiting to see who they play, according to Mike Casaza, WVU will play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina. Be 5:30 December 27th on ESPN. The reason the Mountaineers end up in this game is because the Big 12 Conference has more bowl-eligible teams than bowl slots, while the SEC has one fewer bowl-eligible team than bowl slots available. The TV networks, basically just ESPN, can help facilitate these backroom deals between making bowls and apparently set this game up. North Carolina, Clemson are potential opponents, but the other team will come from the ACC. Louisville, the conference runner-up, is also a possibility. The order of the Big 12 Conference and bowl selections is as follows, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on to say some other stuff. But basically, what we're saying here, guys, West Virginia made out in this situation. It doesn't really matter who we play, in my opinion. I have preferences. I think we all want to play Louisville. I think that's a very beatable 10-win team. They may be a top 20 offense, but they're not a top 20 offense. We faced better all year. They're probably comparable to an Oklahoma State, similar talent. Can't run the ball quite as good, but we match up well with a team like Louisville, guys. And and you guys update me if this happens. I'm sure they'll announce our opponent soon. If it's Louisville, I'm going to be giddy until this is the tip. I'm not going to lie. This is an old rival of ours. It's somebody I think that can be, and right on the heels of, this is me as a content creator thinking of things like, so the Florida, obviously, with what happened to Florida State, the ACC is likely to implode. Well, probably not. A lot of people are speculating that. And what better way for them to see the potential of a Louisville, West Virginia game than playing against the Big 12 Conference foe in West Virginia. And you can kind of see what that looks like. You have data that says, hey, this is what Louisville, West Virginia will bring as far as eyeballs. Because if that game happens, it's literally only Kentucky and West Virginia probably going to be watching that game, and other people in the country. But mostly our two states. So I'll be excited to see. I'm not as excited for North Carolina. I think it's a bad matchup for us, too, with Drake May, quarterback. Much rather play Plummer, guys. He's just, to me, an overrated player. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to Mountaineer Ball Talks Football if you don't mind. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about WVU lucking out. Guys, we dodged Memphis. We dodged teams like, SMU, which is a good football team, but they're an 11-win mid-major, or, not group of five school that, for most of our fans, would move the needle if we won against. Although I think it would be a good thing. And in Air Force, right? We've dodged all these now. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, we could have been matched up against Notre Dame. In my opinion, that's a really bad matchup, too. So I think we kind of lucked out not getting Notre Dame. You can get the same kind of cachet going into 2024 with the win over Louisville as you can Notre Dame, correct? Notre Dame, much tougher opponent to me. I mean, people maybe I'm underselling Louisville a little bit, but and their defense played well last night against a really snake-bitten Florida State team. But at the end of the day, I'm really excited, guys. Let me know how you feel about this. Uh, Super chat button is obviously down below if you want to donate to the channel. Always appreciate that when you guys help out with that kind of stuff. But I don't like to beg for it always. Who else we got in here? We got 74 people in here. What's up, Jacob Yoho? What's up, Tyler Cobb? Les Bullis, David Cummings, Swanson, Whitley, and Sasquatch. Okay, that's the only comments we have so far. I'll be interested to see. You guys keep checking out. You guys is anybody checking this actively while I'm on here? I just kind of jumped on before they announced our opponent. So I have another phone, but I don't have X on it yet. If you go to X, Tyler, somebody go to X/Twitter and look at Brett McMurphy, look at Mike Casaza, look at Keenan Cummings. I've got text messages coming in from my sources, but this is pretty much the other end of the opponent is an ACC thing. I don't really have people there. So we'll probably all know that one at the same time. So I did find this out as Mike Casaza went live with it. So I want to make sure everybody gives credit to earsports.com for this. Mike Casaza, Chris Anderson, that did a really, really good job. Do a really good job. So this is their story that we're just want to make sure that's out. No, Timothy. Actually, they're not going to be playing Memphis. It's going to be an ACC team for sure. That's 100% official. It's either going to be one of four teams, basically. It's going to be Louisville. It's going to be NC State. It's going to be UNC, or it's going to be Clemson. Two of those are really bad matchups for us. Another one's a pretty bad matchup for us, and one is, although they're a tough team, who I want to play most. I think every Mountaineer fan wants to play Louisville. Second would probably be NC State. Then to me, it's a toss-up between North Carolina and Clemson. I think I would rather play Clemson because they're more beatable this year. But certainly they've got five-star talent all over the field. North Carolina's got obviously Drake May, Tez Walker, those guys, a bunch of really good offense that we can get to a shootout with. To me, Louisville, it fits the mold, like I said a minute ago, of a team that, while they've got 10 wins, I think they're very beatable. And I think WVU matches up well against, just my personal opinion. I think we're good in the trenches in that game. So we'll see. Tyler Cobb says the Clemson matchup, a little rematch there. Yeah, Clemson certainly holds some cachet, but not as much as beating Louisville this year, to me. I mean, if you can say you can beat the team that played in the ACC championship game going into 2024, it should rocket you into some conversations in 2024, and you can sell that to recruits, right? Hey, look, we're returning all these guys. We return a quarterback, most of our offensive line, a running back room. We need you as a wide receiver. We beat the ACC runner-up with this, what we have now. Obviously, if we win. You sell that to some guys in the portal, you sell that to some recruits. I get excited, talking about it. Of course, that's me, though. I know there's a lot of people that may not feel the same. I was shocked to hear this. I really was. I was not expecting this switch to happen. I think so, Timothy. But at the end of the day, I think personally, I think Memphis is outmatched in the trenches against us. our offensive line is going to be in a bowl game setting, especially guys, and against a non-Big 12 team is going to be we're going to be at a huge advantage. I think no matter who we play, even without Zach. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, that's what this is, man. You don't have to stay and watch if you don't want to. That's a good point. I think Devin Carter probably would like to have some motivation, but I mean, he had 3, 4 good years there. Um, I don't think it was a bad breakup between them, uh, but it would be certainly something he would probably want to go out and say, "Hey, maybe you should have hung on to me or whatever." Sure. Neil Brown was at the AAA State High School Championship game in West Virginia. He was. He also DM'd one of the Princeton players, Dominic Collins, I think his name is. Uh, One of the fastest players in the state, wide receiver. Told him he was going to be there. Florida State did get home. Does everybody want to talk about that? Is that kind of what everybody's wondering? Um, my opinion on the situation is listen, put yourself in the committee's shoes first. I would not have wanted to have to make that decision because it wasn't cut and dry. There's arguments about either side, right? I mean, you can look at it from the SEC's perspective. They're obviously dominated the playoff era. There's never been a playoff without the SEC involved. And obviously, Georgia was undefeated going into that last game, and Alabama looks like they had improved just insanely. It's a really big jump from South Florida to Texas to what they were at the end of the year. But then you look at resumes, and Georgia didn't have the best wins in Tennessee. Obviously, the head-to-head against Texas came back and beat Alabama a little bit. And then you get in the conversation of should an injured player matter? And I think it depends on how you view this. If you view the most deserving team needs to be in, then obviously you say Florida State, right? If it's the most deserving because they won all their games, quarterback or not. If you're talking about the four best, I think minus that quarterback, it was obvious to see against Louisville yesterday that Florida State is not one of the four best teams. Uh, I watched Georgia Tech light that same Louisville defense up. You know, Haynes King's a good player. Don't get me wrong. 4 5 star guy, Texas A&M, all that. But I personally think they got it right. And I know a lot of people feel like FSU got hosed. And a lot of people say, well, what do you play the games for? And God forbid, I wouldn't want West Virginia to be in this situation. It would be a miracle, obviously, for us to be in that situation. I don't know if we've ever been very often. I mean, it's been very few times we've been undefeated at the end of the year at West Virginia. But if it were to happen, um, obviously I'd be heartbroken for sure. Um, I don't know, man. I personally think they got it right if you're talking about four best. So I think Alabama beats Florida State pretty easily on a neutral field. And I think Georgia is going to beat Florida State pretty easily when they play in the bowl game. I think you'll see Florida State will not score against that Georgia defense at all. So do you think the Louisville defense is good? Play against the Georgia defense, Tyke Smith, who was all over the field yesterday. So sometimes you have that quarterback that is. And the thing about it is Florida State, they didn't drop one run down. Like they didn't go like, for instance, whenever we played Texas Tech and we had to go against Jet Duffy, Florida State doesn't have a Jet Duffy or somebody like that to rely on that is a comparable player. Like they're talking about true freshmen, never played at this level before. Oh, you're asking him to play in the freaking the ACC championship game, like, was just so. And to think that he would play much better in a title game. So I think the committee evaluated what they saw. They saw a Florida State team that obviously struggled to beat Louisville. So to me, that's basically what it comes down to. I think the committee saw that Florida State was just wounded. And it's not fair, and I don't want it to happen again. Thankfully, we moved to 12 teams, and we can argue about. I think somebody put out there, we can argue next year about, Oklahoma State got screwed. The 9-3 Oklahoma State Cowboys got screwed. 8-4 Ole Miss got in ahead of them. So there's always going to be controversy, but at least it's not at the very top. So has there seriously not been an update on this yet? I'm surprised that we know we're in the game. I wonder if Louisville is arguing whoever it might be, Louisville, NC State, Clemson, or Carolina. I wonder if, these teams, there are one or two of them that just don't want to play us. Like, they think it's beneath them, or maybe it's a bad matchup for them. Very curious to know. Of course, I always think a little bit negative. Like I said, John, if you're talking about most deserving, sure. They're not one of the four best teams. I just in Georgia will show them that. I'll bet any amount of money on that when it comes time for that game. So I would have been okay either way, because I had no skin in the game. There's a lot of people that are really offended for Florida State, and I think that's because there's a lot of us out there that think, first of all, Florida State's a brand name. It's not like TCU, right? When Ohio State got in over TCU. So, although TCU's got a great school and all that, they're not the brand name Florida State. So, if Florida State can go undefeated and get left out, what does that mean you for us? Basically, people are thinking that. And I think that's the biggest. I think that's why there's a lot of outcry for Florida State, and then also for the kids, to play for Florida State. Sam's funny. Wants to go back to the BCS era. I get that, but you're underestimating the quarterback, Jeff. In my opinion, it's the most important position of all sports. If you can watch that game versus Louisville yesterday and tell me that's the same Florida State team that played most of the year or against LSU or anybody else, tell me it's the same team. And I think they had more points than first downs, and they scored 16. What was it? I mean, it's insane. Yeah, absolutely. Love the West Virginia soccer team and what they got going on right now. Thanks for bringing that up, brother. Like I said, Jeff, there's really not a right answer because I could make the case for either or. I'm like seriously. Well, Florida State, I'm pretty much right in the middle. I can completely understand why they're not in. I can also understand why they should have been in. And the reality is they're not. So arguing over whether they should have been or not does nothing to change reality. Sometimes acceptance has to come into play. You know, acceptance is not agreement. Accepting something, when my dad died, I had to accept it. Didn't mean I agreed with it or loved it or anything like that, but it still happened. He was still in the grave. Similarly to Florida State, they're done. They're playing Georgia, and they're not going to play in the championship, unfortunately. Thank you for $2 super chat, Jacob Yoho. As always, you support students and I. Very appreciative of that, man. Um, I do too. I really hate it for Zach. He means a ton to us all. you're a West Virginian, if you've got that state, if you got that flying WV on your body anywhere or behind you or wherever you got it, um, Zach embodies everything to me, what we all love, you know. Um, I don't know if, what he did really, so it's really legendary to be talked about similar, like, I don't know if you guys remember to the uh, Byron Leftwich play where he broke his leg against Akron and they had to carry him down the field for every first down. Similar to that, or in another capacity, it'll be legendary like the runaway beer truck with Owen Schmidt. So I think it's easily one of the top 10 plays in WVU history, just because of what he went through to do it. So I'm not exactly sure what you. Oh, are you so mad you're typing too fast? Um, because I have no skin in the game, man. At the end of the day, what if it was Pitt? Do you hate Pitt so much that you would not, would you feel the same way? I'm curious to know. Uh, but I mean, it's like you're acting like somebody went on trial here, somebody was murdered or something. I'm just saying that I don't have any skin in that game. Like I don't like it, but I don't love it. You know, so it is what it is, bro. I'm just not that interested in it. What part of the state does everyone hail from? Mark Thomas wants to know. I'm from a place called Mingo County, West Virginia. Uh, Dingus, born and raised there until I got old enough and our family moved away a little bit and moved towards the tri-state area, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia area near Huntington. So that's kind of where I've been for my years, formative and adult years. Tyler said Zach's a dog. If anybody's seen that play where he went down, I highly recommend you go watch. It shows his heart and dedication to the game. I agree with. Would NC State and Virginia Tech also be potential options? I didn't think about Virginia Tech, but I don't think they rank high enough to get the Duke's Mayo Bowl over like something like a Clemson, or I think Clemson's a rung ahead of Virginia Tech on the day. I don't have the ACC standings right in front of my face, but I think Virginia Tech, they came on strong towards the end of the year, though. That would be an interesting matchup. If Virginia Tech's another one, that would be a great game as far as eyeballs go. And I think, there's a lot of, obviously, outside of Pitt, this is our biggest rival. But, for me, I would like, in this case, I would rather play Louisville. Um, I don't think we're going to get it. I'd be surprised if we did. I'm just saying if I had it my way, playing Louisville, I think that would be a fun game. It would be a good win, and it would be a legitimate loss. If we lost to them, I think you know, you could hold your head up a little bit. So I understand that. To me, man, I'm a Big 12 guy, I'm a West Virginia guy. And listen, Florida State has had way more breaks than we'll ever get. Just remember that. If Florida State was on like we were against St. John's the other day, you better believe ESPN's not telling their fans to go watch ESPN News for the last 5 minutes of the game. So as a West Virginia fan, I just don't have a whole. It just doesn't hurt me, man, when teams like Florida State get a bad break because they'll get 10 more good ones for this one bad one. The NCAA will probably spend the next 30 years paying them back for this. That's a great point, Eli. I didn't think about that. That's an excellent point. Um, and we better hope he does if we do play him because he would be the best player we. Let me make sure. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel is a great player. Because of our schedule, Drew Aller, I think, will eventually be a great player. But yeah, I think this would probably be the best player we play. Of course, you could say Dylan Gabriel is comparable to that. I don't have to pick a side. I don't have to. And you're not going to make me pick a side, man. You either move on, go to another chat over it, bro. To me, it's not that serious. I said I could believe either or. You can sell me on one hat, you can sell me on the other. I'm worried about West Virginia. This is a West Virginia channel. So if you're subscribed, unsubscribe, move on, whatever you got to do. If it's that serious, sorry, you know. Okay, take two. Scotty Rosencrantz says Tyler Cobb. Everyone needs to go watch that play. What it soon. Hardly have been so proud of an athlete that ours. Yeah, if anybody here just doesn't know, basically Zach Frazier broke his leg, and I got to say, number 97 for Baylor that did that, what they call hip dropping, basically wrapped his arms around the waist of Zach Frazier when he was pushing the ball carrier across the line, the game, which has now become legal, and kind of puts him in the middle of it, right? But for whatever reason, he grabbed Zach Frazier and dropped backwards with him, causing him to break his leg. And Zach Frazier, in a moment of clarity amidst the pain, somehow realized that, it's there's less than 2 minutes to go in the game. There'll be a 10-second runoff. So he ran off the field with a broken leg. Well, he jumped off the field. He didn't run. He hobbled. He jumped on one leg off the field so that there would be this 10-second runoff. And to me, first of all, that speaks to coaching. Well, that's not first of all, but that's one of the things first things that comes to mind. Good job, Matt Moore, and whoever else has taught Zach. And maybe it was just Zach being so smart. But I think you got to give coaching just a little bit of credit here because they drill that kind of stuff into them, right? But Zach, what an amazing play. And certainly, definitely goes down the history. Ryan says, number one, Louisville, two, NC State, three, Georgia Tech, four, Virginia Tech, five, Clemson. Two, that's the NC standings? Okay. I apologize. I was wrong on that. So then what they said earlier, must be right on this. There's bartering and trading going on behind closed doors. That's what we do know. That's what one of my sources texted me, just told me, like, right before I went on. Then I saw the Your Sports thing, and I was like, okay, this is 100% happening. Um, so with just that line right there, bartering and trading behind closed doors makes me think maybe it's not about strength of schedule or strength of record, and maybe it is about eyeballs. And if you want to talk about eyeballs, to me, I guess Clemson probably brings the most. Maybe North Carolina, I'm not sure. Or maybe because Louisville's had such a good year, maybe they do. But I think NC State would fall down the pecking order on that one. And if you want to bring Virginia Tech into it, I don't know. I think whenever we played them uh, last year, we broke the ESPN Thursday night record. So for views, it was over 1 million. So I think that's something in the realm of what you would get. And all these, obviously Duke's Mayo, they just want as many eyeballs as they can get, mixed with the best game. And so they're probably asking themselves, is Louisville too strong of an opponent for West Virginia? Is Virginia Tech not going to bring enough eyeballs? And I'm sure they probably want to match up the best of both. I'm not. I said that wide open, not even like 10 minutes ago, man. I'm not saying I wouldn't be, and certainly I think this is why so many people were outcrying over Florida State because they think it could be them or their team. And if Florida State, the name brand, gets left out undefeated, then what would happen to us? But this is the year that's unlike any other. It's the last year of the 14. At the end of the day, this will never happen again. It's impossible for it to ever happen again. There will never be 12-0 teams. So uh, don't have to worry about it anymore. Now you might have to worry about 10-win teams getting in from here on. Maybe 9-win teams is the benchmark for 12. I don't know. But there will be controversy, but it won't be for an undefeated team ever again. So I think that's something the 12-team playoff is going to solve. And so there we go. Somebody just texted me and said, "What? ACC boycott?" I don't know. I'm not reading. It's hard to get context when I'm doing this live. 30 years ago, that would be the West Virginia then one lost Florida State team played Nebraska for the national. Sounds like sour grapes to me. Anyone know how much all of Zach injury will affect Zach's draft status? I've heard it won't very much. It's just a break, so no ligament, no muscle damage, anything like that. So those things heal back just stronger. So um, he should be fine. But they're going to check it out. I mean, some teams just at the end of the day get scared because of injuries. So I don't know exactly what the injury is, and I doubt they'll release it because that can only hurt his draft stock. Because probably in the medium area, it's probably not serious, but it's probably not minor. So they probably just leave him alone. There you go. Neil said he'd be good for all draft activities. That's for sure, Tyler. That's for sure. You know if Washington wins it all? Um, I don't know. I really thought about who I want to win it. Um, Part of me roots for Nick Saban because he's from West Virginia, but they've won so many now. It's like he's good for life, for a couple lifetimes. Um, I guess if you had to ask me, it sucks for the Big 12 representative. It's like it's like Pitt to the rest of the Big 12, right? Like Pitt is to us, Texas is to the rest of the Big 12. So the Big 12 representative, unfortunately, we all hate. Yeah, Ari, that's what this video is about. Thank you for the message, man. I guess for everybody that's in here, if you want me to bring you again, go over this is nearsports.com. West Virginia University's football program knows where it's going to be playing in the postseason, although still waiting to see who they play. According to Mike Casaza, WVU will play in the Dukes Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina. Game is set for 5:30 on December 27th on ESPN. The reason the Mountaineers are ending up in this game is that the Big 12 Conference has more bowl-eligible teams than bowl slots, and the SEC has one fewer bowl-eligible team. So the TV networks basically got together and are doing backdoor dealings between leagues and bowls, and apparently this game has been set up. North Carolina or Clemson are potential opponents, but the other team will come from the ACC. Louisville, the conference runner-up, is also a possibility. The order of the Big 12 Conference and bowl selections is as follows, and we all know that. And Midland's talked about our history in bowls. But basically, the meat and potatoes of that is we're playing in the Dukes Mayo Bowl for sure. That's definitely happening. And I think there is some unrest from what I'm getting, just little bits of messages here. I can't check. my messages with you guys while you're on here, but I'm being told maybe there's some ACC unrest about who playing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and maybe that's Louisville. I think they probably feel like they deserve something better. I don't know that, and I'm just making a complete guess. But I think we don't move the needle for other teams, guys, as much as we would think we. Now, I think Louisville, certainly their fans would be happy about playing us. I would think, but maybe they had higher aspirations. So I don't know. Basically, like David said, the ACC bowl times are still lobbying to see good player. At the end of the day, guys, I think while we all hope we play Louisville, it may be something less. I don't know. Tell me down below in the comments, guys. Everybody type in and just kind of let me know who do you hope we play out of the ACC. Seems like it's wide open. Somebody posted the top 7 earlier. Let's say it's between. Let's say these are the teams. Just pick one of these: Louisville, NC State, North Carolina, Clemson, Virginia Tech. Who am I missing? And whoever I'm missing, obviously, we want to go 5 or 6 deep. So, who does everybody want to play? I want to play Louisville. I think it moves it because if you're a West Virginia fan, here's how I look at it, guys. We're talking about cachet, right? What win would give us the best trajectory going into next year, preseason? Because we want, you want to have a good preseason ranking if you can. It would be nice not to be picked 14th, right? And so kind of, like Texas Tech, they got talked about all offseason, even though they didn't finish that way. It's just for me, I would like to experience that one more time. It's been a while since we've been talked about as like a good team in the offseason. And to read all the headlines like last year, we had a MAC roster, we were picked 14th by everybody. Like we got completely just absolutely disrespected in the offseason last year. Like I didn't even want to get up and read what people were saying about this. So I want to beat the ACC runner-up. And I think we can beat them, guys. I really do. You saw the performance they put on tape yesterday. Yes, an elite Florida State defense, don't get me wrong. But Plummer is so average, guys. He's literally worse than Bowman, although Bowman played pretty well against us. He's not that great of a player. He can toss it around a little bit, but he's not. I don't think. And we're lucky it's in North Carolina, guys. How lucky can we get? Like we seriously, this is better than Florida, except for the weather. Oh, Cox, that's a Kentucky recruiting team. Sure, but if you could, you're right. But there's levels to that, David. Right? Obviously, if you beat a Louisville or NC State, I think those are the 2 best solid resume wins based on the ACC, followed by maybe Virginia Tech or uh, UNC. Uh, but I'd like to have the best possible resume win so that we can be ranked at the end of the year. That's what we kind of want. We got some votes. We win a good bowl game. I think we got a shot. Jacob likes the geography of the game as well. Just watching them play a third string freshman and struggling against an understanding shoe team gives us the best chance to win. Dave Maynard. Dave Maynard, seriously. I just wonder if it's Dave Maynard I know. Uh, my cousin is Daniel Muncie. I don't know if you know him. Or Larry Rockle. One of them two. Maybe you'll know. Yeah, now Tyler, I agree with that, but now keep in mind that Florida State defense is really good too. So I think Louisville could score on us, but here's what I think: because Jamari Thrash would be a matchup problem for us, and they've got a home run hitter at running back. But that's really it with them. I've watched like 3 or 4 of their games this year. They don't have anything outside of an elite number one wide receiver and an elite running back and a really good offensive line and a really good defense. That's a lot, but but they can be held in check, and I think we can control the line of scrimmage. Muncy, no E, no. It's pretty good, Brother Reed. How about we play Georgia? At the end of the day, that is a very good poll. What is going to be quality of home? Yep, I agree. Donald Cox said you got people coming from Naugatuck. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. I just can't believe our bowl. I mean, it's only 4:42. See what we got here. Stick with me for just a sec, guys. I'm gonna check on a couple things. All right, now to pull up the Duke's Mail Bowl, their things. See that way, because I mean they're going to have things if they do. Did anybody see what happened with the Pop Tarts Bowl? Was that a K State versus Notre Dame situation? Yeah, I can't do nothing about it, Scott. I, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't afford it. That's my thing. Unless you're saying like it's messed up, but other than that, I got the headphones. That's all I got for now, man. I hope to do better soon, but I got what I got. Yeah, Mingo County, man. All right. I think that's the update, guys. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? I've got some things I have to do this evening. Appreciate that, Jacob. That's a very hot take. Florida State beats Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Preview should be in the college football playoff. I'd be shocked if that happened, Tyler, just to be honest. Go look at how that quarterback played against Louisville yesterday. To me, and Louisville's got, let's put it on a 100% scale. Let's say Georgia's defense is at 100%. I would say Louisville's defense in comparison is maybe at 65 or 70% of that. So, I mean, they have a really good defense, Louisville, top 50, but Georgia's got a top 7 or 8. And I think that's going to show um, in the game against Florida State. Man, I don't know if they're going to be playing with the third string guy again. Now, if they're playing with their second string guy, which I haven't got to see play yet, I just happen to miss him. Maybe he's better, and if that's the case, then maybe we got a point. But they got really good wide receivers, and I mean, nobody held them down all year. But you got to have somebody throw it to them. They literally had a guy, that third string kid they got that he couldn't even throw a 7 yard hitch route last night. It was wild. It's horrible. So I think so. Tyler wants it to happen. Okay. Mike G says Georgia will dog one Florida State, possibly so. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Mountaineer Call Talk Football. Um, I'm going to jump out. I got some stuff to do this evening. Hope that's okay with you guys. We'll find out who we play in the bowl game here, I'm sure, shortly. But I got to check some messages and stuff. So, is that right? See, that's what I'm saying, guys. We're looking out. We're getting them. Any of these aces, these are Power 5 opponents. I don't care. I didn't want to play SMU. I didn't want to play Memphis. Even though SMU, Memphis, Troy, these are all 9 or, well, Troy and SMU are both 10 and 11 win teams, and Memphis was a 9 and 3 team. But I mean, I don't want to play against the group of 5 team because at the end of the day, if you beat them, you were supposed to beat them. If you lose, it's an upset. Now, we need to be playing like we're the underdogs again. That's what in my opinion, we could play better like that all year. Keep it going. Back, quarterback from Florida State is not playing. The backup is not playing. It's not the third. Okay, thanks, Dan. All right, guys, it's been another edition of Mountaineer Football. Thanks for all your support, guys. Let's hope we get a good bowl game. If it gets Louisville, I'll make a video on that tonight. If we get Louisville or whoever it is, be looking forward to that, guys. Please subscribe down below, as always. Don't. And there's 104 of you guys watching me. Could you guys all please like the video as you go out? That would really mean a lot to me if you could do that. And that way this video gets pushed out. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great weekend. See you later.